Freewhale has very kindly sent me these long exposure ND filters for the DJI Mini 2, and I was keen to get out and try them, and I got some really unique and really awesome photos using these long exposure ND filters. Let me show you how these work and how to use them. Let's jump right in. So before I get into the video and tell you all about these awesome long exposure filters for your DJI Mini 2 and how to use them, I just want to say 88.9% of you aren't subscribed to my channel. So if you're new around here and love drone related content, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you learned something new, please remember to hit that like button. And if you haven't got that notification bell on, click it now because it means you won't miss any of my upcoming drone related videos. So what exactly is long exposure photography? Well, as the name suggests, it's a photographic style that uses slow shutter speeds and long exposures, and by doing so what we're able to do is blur elements such as water, cars, anything moving, and this gives a really unique photo. You might have seen photos online of waterfalls that look blurry as if the water is really smooth and silky, or roads where the car taillights are leaving long trails. That's long exposure photography. So what do you need to do long exposure with the DJI Mini 2? Well, you need ND filters with a high stop rating, something around ND 1000 or ND 2000. When you put your drone down to slow shutter speeds such as 1 or 2 seconds, you're going to be letting in so much light that the image is just going to look white. It's going to be completely blown out. And so what you need is an ND filter with a very high stop rating to kind of put sunglasses on your camera and reduce the amount of light that you're letting in when you're using them slow shutter speeds. Now Freewhale sent me this long exposure pack which has an ND 1000 and ND 2000, and this is exactly what it sounds like. It's meant for long exposure. These have been great. I'm going to show you the results I've got with them in this video, but I just want to say if you want to pick these up, there's a link in the description down below. Freewhale sent me these out and I have absolutely loved using them to get long exposure photos. So location is super important when it comes to long exposure photography because you need movement. The whole idea of long exposure photography is to blur movement so you get these unique perspectives. Think cars going along a road, waves crashing into a beach, water going down waterfalls. These are the kind of locations what make for great long exposure photos. But now you've got the added benefit of being able to put the camera in the air with a drone, so you can get some really unique perspectives when doing these long exposure shots. So think about that when it comes to thinking of location. Now you can either do long exposure at night or during the day. Common examples of night long exposure shots are the photos you see of, as I've said, car taillights going along a road, leaving long trails. And those look fantastic, but I wanted to try these out during the day. So how exactly do you take long exposure photos? Well, the first thing you want to do before taking off is fit a long exposure or high stopped ND filter. ND 1000 or ND 2000 is going to be great. I usually go with the ND 2000, so put that on your DJI Mini 2 before taking off. You also want to make sure that you go into settings and make sure that your overexposure warning is turned on, because this is going to give you zebras on the screen and show you when your highlights are blown out. This is obviously super important because you're not going to be able to recover blown out highlights in post. So by having them zebras, that overexposure warning on, you're going to make sure that you can expose correctly. You also want to make sure grid lines are on in your settings. This goes for when you're taking any photos or videos because it really helps with composition. But it's super important when you're taking long exposure photos because you need to keep the drone super stationary, super stable. And obviously with wind, the drone's going to be moving about. And if it moves about too much, you're going to end up with super blurry shots doing long exposure. Now obviously you don't have too much control over how the drone reacts to wind, but what the grid lines help you do is gauge just how much it's moving around in the wind. So what do I mean by this? If you put the drone up in the air and you have no grid lines on, and you're simply trying to take a long exposure photo of a waterfall, you might not realize that the drone's moving around, doing micro movements to compensate for the wind, and then you get back and your shots are all blurry. Whereas if you have grid lines on, because you have the lines visible on the screen, you'll be able to see them micro jitters and be able to say, okay, well the drone's obviously moving around too much in this position, I need to move it. So make sure grid lines is on, they're really beneficial. Next you want to fly your drone to where you're going to be taking your first long exposure photo. And you want to set your shutter speed to around 0.5 seconds to 1 second. I find that to be the sweet spot to giving you good motion blur in your long exposure photos where it blurs the movement out, but not being so slow that most of the photos you get are just far too blurry to actually use, because as mentioned, those micro jitters that your drone does, if you have a really slow shutter speed, 2-3 seconds, then more chance that them micro jitters are just going to make your image completely blurry. Everything blurry, not just the areas you want blurred. So I find around half a second to 1 second was the sweet spot. And then just take lots and lots of photos. And each location you're trying to get a long exposure shot, take more photos than you think you need. Even with the correct shutter speed and the correct ND filters and a really calm day, you're still going to get quite a large miss rate in terms of photos that come out completely blurry. As I keep mentioning, the micro jitters, micro movements your drone does that you have no control over, are just going to mean that a lot of shots you get, even in the half and 1 second shutter speeds, are going to be quite blurry. So you just want to take lots and lots of photos so you have a much better chance of getting 1 or 2 shots out of a large batch that turn out exactly how you want. Just remember, take lots of shots in each position before you move to the next. And lastly, just experiment. You might as well in each location take a couple of different shots at longer or slower shutter speeds. Now, as mentioned, these usually come out really blurry, but I have had the odd golden egg shot, let's call it, at around 2 to 3 second shutter speed that turn out really, really good, but these are really few and far between. But you might as well experiment and try those different shutter speeds, because you never know, the stars might align and you might just get that epic shot. It's going to take you an extra few seconds to try these longer shutter speeds, for example, so you might as well before you move to the next position. Now, my last tip is just remember your shutter speed is going to be dependent on what you're actually shooting. 1 second might be slow enough of a shutter speed for running water to give great looking pictures, but it's just going to be too slow for fast moving cars. If you use a 1 second shutter speed on a fast moving car, you're barely going to be able to recognize that it is a car. It's just going to be blurred out so much. So cars probably need half a second or even slightly faster shutter speeds to give you a good trade-off between motion blur and actually being able to work out what it is in your long exposure photo. So you need to know what you're shooting and know what shutter speeds kind of make sense for what you're actually shooting, and you build up this knowledge over time of doing some long exposure photos. So why not pick up a pack of long exposure ND filters? It doesn't need to be these by Freewell, but Freewell did send me these out and they have been absolutely fantastic, and I've loved experimenting and taking long exposure photos. It's just another amazing feature that you can do in the DJI Mini 2. More amazing types of content you can produce with it, and I've had a lot of fun making long exposure photos. If you want to pick up the Freewell set, there's a link in the description down below. As I've said, Freewell sent me these out and I've really enjoyed using them. And lastly, just before you go, I just want to say 88.9% of you aren't subscribed to my channel. So if you're new around here and haven't subscribed, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you learned something new in this video, please make sure to hit the like button. And make sure your notification bell's on so you don't miss any of my other upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. I'll see you in the next one.